Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode from the joyful life of mine working on cars. Today we are going to be replacing the radiator cooling fan in this 2002 Chevy Venture. I fixed it up, it runs, but later I learned that there's a problem with the cooling fans because one of them I think doesn't kick in where it is supposed to kick in, and the engine slightly overheats before the cooling fan kicks in. So this is a two-piece cooling fan. The good one is right here, and I think, if I'm not mistaken, one of them is supposed to go in the lower temperatures and the other one at higher temperatures. So I think one of mine is problematic, and also it rattles when it works. That tells me there's something wrong with it, and hopefully fixing this will fix the slight overheating issue I'm facing before the cooling fan kicks in. I checked the engine oil. As you can see, it is clean, there is no coolant in it, so it is not leaking coolant into the engine block. So let's see how we can face this challenge. Now for this you will need to remove a bunch of stuff before you can access the radiator fan, starting with these braces. These engine mounts have to come off. Most of this stuff has to come off. This engine locking mechanism, or no, not the hood release mechanism has to come off, and then we'll be able to access this. And even then it will be a challenge wiggling this out of the way, and you'll see what I mean. Tools we will need: your sockets. Sometimes you might need shallow sockets, and deep sockets will be needed. Use power tools as much as you can because you'll be taking out a lot of screws and bolts and nuts, and you'll need a lot of patience and resistance to swearing, because you will swear if you tackle this job. With this car, anything you can think of is a big task, even the smaller ones. But let's begin by taking off these. These two weren't holding in very well anyways. These are the mounting points to the engine body, car body, so need to take these off. This has only one electrical connector, which is here. Just unplug it like so. Now, one thing that needs to come off is the radiator hose, because the edges won't clear. Unfortunately, you can't take this off, and you'll have to deal with it, and there will be some coolant loss, so you'll have to replenish that later. But let's get to it. Now there are two screws on either end that hold the fan to the radiator, so we need to take those off. It's me. Maybe the battery can slide just a bit for this to come out. Yes, it did, thank goodness. Now comes the fun part, taking this out. It's not easy. You're gonna get stuck in this cooler line or the AC line right here, because there's a bracket right under there. This will get stuck right here at the cap. Same will happen over here, so prepare to curse a lot. That side is cleared. Now the bottom part, that side needs to clear. So seems like this side is pretty clear. If only I could wiggle that out of the way. Love working in tight spaces such as this. If it doesn't want to come out, look for areas it may get hung. So this side is out. Wiggle it out. Okay, here is the old one, here is the new one. So we need to get the wires from here to here, and there is my surprise. This is my old wrench, spanner wrench, or whatever you call it, ratcheting wrench. Yes, that's the correct name. You see how it is molten into the structure? I'm surprised it survived at least this much. Obviously the ratcheting mechanism is dead. So what happened here was I was bolting the battery in, and because it's a poor design, the negative terminal is all the way back there. So I thought to myself, maybe I can do the negative first and positive last, because it will be ergonomically easier. But of course you should never ever do that. Always connect the positive first, negative last, so that you don't have a risk of shorting it, because negative to the body won't short anything. But if your negative is already connected, positive to the body will make a short, which happened in my case. I was ratcheting the positive end and the ratchet slipped. It touched this. This thing became glowing red. I punched it with a plastic hammer to drop it. It did drop onto the radiator and has molten itself into the radiator. And in the process you can see it's bent out of shape because it was like a blowtorch. This is pretty much useless right now, but I'll keep it for, keepsake. So now let's transfer the cables over and be done with this junk radiator. That's one. There. There's that one, which did save, to my surprise. There's that one. These trim removal tools can come quite handy. With old brittle plastic though, there is no guarantees. Like this one didn't survive. But oh well. That one is in. So is this one. That one. Alright. So the new radiator is assembled. All we need to do... Oh, almost forgot this. Let's see how this one comes off. There's that one. Pushed in. So it is assembled. It's ready to go. I will do a cleanup of the area and then put this in. Notice that this one has tabs here and there, which are missing over on this one because they were broken. So there are two pieces that attach this to the body of the car, so it is more stable. So now we will be able to use those with the new radiator. So this side came last, so this side will go in first. Okay, that one is cleared on the right side. There. This one is clear too. For a change, it wasn't as hard to put it in. Plug this in before we forget.